After 70, have you come to the realization that no one really wants your old items anymore? Many seniors have this issue in the back of their minds, but they frequently ignore it since the truth can be upsetting. The truth is that most people around you lose interest in the mountains of belongings you've accumulated over the years once you reach this milestone. Although this may sound harsh, accepting it head-on can alter your perspective on your golden years. In this video, we explore 5 hard realities about senior decluttering that are rarely spoken. Although these facts may be painful at first, they will assist you in shedding extra emotional and physical burdens. By the end, you'll know why your possessions become less significant to other people and how to embrace clarity and freedom by clinging to what really counts. Keep reading, because what you learn here has the power to fundamentally change the way you view your relationship with your possession. There is more to these lessons than simply clearing clutter. They are about taking back your mental tranquility and making room for the life you wish to lead at this moment. Let's get going now. First of all, much of it is not wanted by family. Knowing that your loved ones might not desire the majority of your possessions is one of the most difficult realities to confront after the age of 70. You may have hoarded collections, furniture, or relics over decades in the hopes that your children or grandkids will one day value them as much as you do. In actuality, however, lives have evolved. Younger generations tend to favor simpler environments, move around a lot, and live in smaller places. For them, something that represents pride and heritage could feel like a burden. This does not imply that your belongings are meaningless. It just indicates that the meaning is very intimate. For example, your children may see that hefty oak dining table you purchased in your 40s as something too big to fit in their home. Yet it may bring back memories of innumerable family get-togethers. Years of happy collecting may be reflected in your shelves of porcelain figures. However, they might appear to them as things that need to be dust-free all the time. Though it is your tale, not theirs, the emotional significance you place on these items is genuine. This fact has psychological implications for the way identity changes throughout time. While younger people, who are influenced by various cultural values, place a higher importance on experiences than material items, seniors frequently view their possessions as an extension of their legacy. This generational divide leads to disillusionment. Accepting this difference might help you let go of bitterness and pass on only what is universal, such as a photo album full of family history rather than a whole cabinet full of dishes, if we want others to see our belongings with the same respect. Robert, a 78-year-old man, is a good example. He had saved all of his hardback book collection for his daughter. He was initially devastated when she acknowledged that she could not handle them and preferred digital reading. She was happy to keep them, however, when he selected one shelf of the most significant titles and put little remarks inside the covers. Knowing that others would appreciate them, he gave the remainder to a nearby library. His narrative demonstrates how value is maintained through intention rather than volume. You will discover a lighter path forward if you take this fact to heart. You can concentrate on picking out a select few artifacts that convey your story rather than assuming that everything must be brought with you. With this method, your family can treasure your memories without feeling burdened by all of your belongings. In exchange, you feel at ease knowing that you are leaving them with purpose rather than a burden. Second, the majority of items lose their market worth. The majority of your belongings are worth much less than you realize, which is another harsh reality of decluttering after 70. Many elderly people preserve furniture, collections, or home items over time because they think they may be worth a lot of money. However, the cruel truth is that the market just does not value things as highly as you do when it comes time to sell or pass them forward. Consider furnishings. Once, the bulky, solid wood bedroom set you bought in your 50s stood for distinction and quality. Younger shoppers today prefer sleek, lightweight designs that match minimalist houses or tiny apartments. There's little demand, and a lot of comparable items at antique stores. What you consider to be a timeless investment is frequently viewed as outdated and unfeasible by others. This also applies to crystal, cutlery, and fine china. Nowadays, when convenience and casual meals are the norm, these once cherished emblems of luxury seldom ever fit in. This truth's psychological basis is linked to changing cultural priorities. Seniors frequently place a high value on history and longevity. Younger individuals prioritize experience and flexibility, but they are less inclined to spend money on things that seem weighty, expensive, or outdated. Due to this generational gap, many treasured possessions are essentially worthless. Take the example of 81-year-old Linda, who collected ornamental plates for decades. She thought they would be treasured by her kids, or perhaps collectors. However, she discovered that the plates barely brought a few dollars each at estate sales when she attempted to sell them. She decided to give one dish to each grandchild, along with a brief written recollection explaining why it was important to her, rather than holding to disappointment. What had minimal monetary value suddenly become a sentimental memento. This fact reminds us that the worth of your possessions is determined by their significance rather than their monetary value. You can overcome the pain of disappointment by letting go of the expectation of profit. You can concentrate on turning commonplace objects into memory vessels rather than aiming for financial gain, selecting only those that accurately convey your tale. Please let me know in the second remark below if you're still watching this video and finding these ideas helpful. To ensure you don't miss any videos, I advise you to subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't already. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. All right, let's proceed. Third, clutter causes stress rather than relaxation. The idea that comfort comes from keeping things around is one of the biggest misconceptions that seniors cling to. Sitting in a room filled with decades' worth of belongings, each connected to a memory or a specific moment in time, may initially seem comforting. However, over time, something that once represented security may subtly become a burden on your body and mind. Rather than bringing tranquility, such heaps of stuff can evoke feelings of disarray and overwhelm. In terms of psychology, worry and exhaustion are closely associated with clutter. Your brain must continuously process the items that are crammed into every available space in your house. Even when you're not looking, your eyes are taking in the cluttered shelves, overflowing closets, and heaps of boxes, which makes it difficult to unwind. When this unseen pressure accumulates, it frequently results in anger, forgetfulness, or an uncontrollably restless feeling. Clutter has the opposite impact at a time in life when clarity and serenity are most needed. Additionally, aging research indicates that clutter presents real-world risks. Elderly people who have too many possessions are more likely to collapse and get into accidents. Narrow hallways and unanticipated tripping risks are created in a house that is overstuffed with extra furniture or boxes. A single fall can result in long-term health issues for a person in their 70s or 80s. Holding on to things may seem like a nostalgic choice, but over time, it may become harmful to your health. Consider Margaret, a 76-year-old woman who would not give up her basement, which was filled with antique furniture, holiday decorations, and mementos from her early years. The fact that they were there, she thought, comforted her. However, the sheer amount always left her exhausted when she went downstairs. She discovered that she hadn't handled the majority of the goods in years when her son assisted her in sorting through it. She said she slept better and felt lighter after giving and organizing the area, as though a weight had been taken off her shoulders. The emotional lives of people you care about are likewise made more difficult by clutter. The sheer amount of stuff frequently makes family members reluctant to visit or lend a hand. Something that was intended to represent a life well lived may inadvertently alienate others. In addition to providing you with calm, clearing clutter makes your home a more inviting space where relationships can flourish. The fact is that having everything you've ever owned around you doesn't necessarily translate into comfort. Creating a setting that is secure, serene, and manageable is the key to true comfort. You may provide your loved ones a space where they can spend quality time with you without being distracted, and give yourself the gift of peace by clearing out clutter. Fourth, memories are within you rather than in things. The fact that memories do not truly reside within your possessions is another reality that many seniors find difficult to accept. They reside within you. The wardrobe filled with clothing from decades ago, the box of old greeting cards, or the piles of mementos from long-ago travels could all feel like reminders of your past. However, those items are merely triggers. Your heart and intellect contain the authentic recollection, the voices, the laughing, and the emotion. Humans are psychologically predisposed to give objects significance since it is more secure than relying on our own memories. Keeping tangible mementos gives us comfort in knowing that the narrative will endure. However, as people mature, this bond may turn into a trap. We start to cling to the object itself, as if the past would disappear without it, rather than relishing the memories. This causes needless anxiety and gives the impression that letting go involves eliminating a piece of ourselves, even though nothing significant is actually being removed. Consider Daniel, an 82-year-old who had preserved all of the programs from the plays and concerts he and his late wife had seen. He resisted when his daughter pointed out that the majority of the programs were unreadable and yellowed, fearing that throwing them away would mean losing those nights spent together. However, he discovered that the memories became more vivid without the clutter when he sat down to write short stories about the things he remembered most, like her grin when the curtain rose and their walks home in the snow. Only the 3 programs that seemed most important to him were retained. The others were discontinued. Even as vivid than before, his recollections held firm. Photographs are no exception to this rule. Because they feel that every photo must be kept, seniors frequently store boxes or books filled with pictures. However, the majority of us don't frequently go through those images, and only a select few genuinely evoke the most affection when we do. You can honor your past without becoming overwhelmed by paper by selecting the best, digitizing them, or compiling them into a little remembrance book. Because they are already etched in your life, rather than on the back of a picture, stories endure. The people, the love, and the events that shaped you are not lost when you let go of things. In actuality, removing extraneous material can allow the memories to breathe more freely. Decluttering can help you overcome your fear of losing yourself once you recognize that the essence of your life cannot be kept in closets or boxes. Please let me know in the 4th comment below if you're still viewing this video and finding these ideas helpful. To ensure you don't miss any videos, I advise you to subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't already. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. All right, let's proceed. The 5th tip is to declutter as a present for your loved ones. Although it may be the hardest to accept, the ultimate truth is also the most freeing. You are giving the people you care about the most a priceless gift when you decide to declutter while you are still fit and healthy. After a parent or grandparent dies, families are all too frequently forced to shoulder the burden of going through decades' worth of possession. What ought to be a period of remembering turns into one of weariness, remorse, and even hostility. You relieve your loved ones of that strain when you take charge of decluttering. You allow them to celebrate your life and sorrow without being constrained by innumerable boxes and choices. It's not just about being kind. It's about keeping your family harmonious and letting your legacy shine through people rather than things. This decision is psychologically indicative of maturity and insight. Many elderly people worry that discarding things will make them less memorable or relevant. The reverse is actually true. You can demonstrate to your loved ones that you care enough to spare them needless suffering by getting rid of clutter. More than the items you left behind, they will remember your thoughtfulness. Take the case of Eleanor, a 79-year-old woman who gradually decluttered her home over the course of 2 years. She carefully chose just a few mementos for her grandchildren, donated clothes, and gave away equipment to neighbors. Her children found the house was simple to run after her death. They cooked her favorite foods together, laughed, and shared tales instead of spending days sorting. Eleanor's choice brought solace and serenity to her family, and this became her real legacy. This fact serves as a reminder that decluttering is an act of love rather than loss. It is an expression of appreciation for those who will continue your legacy. They have greater energy when they have less tasks to handle. Through memories, customs, and quality time together, they will have to pay tribute to your life in the ways that really count. From this perspective, decluttering is more than just releasing your life from the burden of belongings. It's about giving your family a gift they won't soon forget: clarity, ease, and love. Last thoughts, Whammon. As this film comes to an end, pause to consider the 5 painful realities we have discussed. Which one most impressed you? Did you realize that majority of your possessions are not wanted by your family? Or did it serve as a reminder that your memories are not found in the actual objects, but rather within you? Every truth offers an opportunity to view your belongings in a new light, not as extensions of who you are, but as decisions you may make to defend your serenity and the well-being of people you love. Eliminating the past is not the goal of decluttering at this point in life. It's about paying respect to it in a way that releases you. It is about relieving your family of the burden of the future while making room for peace, happiness, and connection. You find a new type of power when you honestly confront these realities. The fortitude to lovely let go. We appreciate you being here with us today. We would be delighted to hear from you. Tell us about one lesson you learned today and how you intend to apply it in your life in the comments section below. We value your opinion, so please feel free to express them. We are greatly inspired and encouraged by reading your remarks. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it entertaining and useful. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. We appreciate your time and hope to see you in the upcoming video.